Hi, I'm Dr. Ford, and I just want to talk about presence with food. So, in my November newsletter that's coming out in a little bit, in November 2025, the focus is on being present. And I was looking for videos on my account here on this YouTube account I just want to count on being present with food and what does that mean and why does it matter? And I couldn't find one. So I thought, I talk about this so much in my sessions with my clients, why don't I have a video? I do have a 5-part series on listening to yourself. Typically, when you learn to listen, you're present in the moment. That's what truly listening is you're actually in the moment. You're not waiting to speak. You're not diagnosing. You're not judging. You're actually trying to understand what the other person is saying. So when you take that principle and apply it to yourself, there almost has to be a pause where you're listening to what you need, what you want, what you're feeling, what you're thinking. And typically you can't do that when you're talking. So you have to be silent. And if we're used to go, or I need to share my opinion, or I need to prove that I'm right, or I need to make sure they understand my story, and there's a lot of hyper verbalness, we don't have the chance to feel. And then those emotions get suppressed. We don't understand them because they're all tucked into little corners. And then in a food space, there has a higher potential for emotional eating because food is legal. It's easy to eat food and no one knows what you're eating for. And emotional eating is really an easy way to hide in plain sight. So emotional eating is actually suggestive that you're feeling something and you're not quite too sure what to do with it. So you're not doing anything wrong, but the food is providing, not really, but the food you think or you're feeling is going to provide a sense of comfort when actually food isn't comforting. It might feel comforting, but what's actually comforting is the witness of someone else and connection. And that could be with yourself. It could be with a safe person. But this is why sometimes people turn to animals because humans their whole life haven't been safe. And animals are typically safe. They typically don't cause harm. And so being present doesn't mean it's peaceful. It means you're sitting and listening to what you're feeling. It can be very painful. It can be very uncomfortable, but being present with it. It's almost like having the hard conversation with a loved one. They're not typically fun, yet you're able to have a hard conversation safely. Anyway, so presence with food is being aware and sitting with it and feeling it and sensing what it feels like in your body. And that's really hard to do if you're just used to eating or talking. Hope this helps.